Hey everyone, welcome back to the LBP speedrunning guide. In this video, we'll cover the wedding reception. This level is a pretty short and easy one, so let's just jump into it. As you're approaching the butler, you want to end your dialogue jump just before you reach this candle, otherwise you'll change layout onto it. You can also slope jump just before it, but it's a bit tricky. Besides doing another slope jump after the skeleton, this beginning section doesn't have much else except for running and jumping when you need to. Jump onto the springy platform and time a jump to get onto the top path to avoid the enemy. Then fall down and try to get an edge jump from the wobble pole. Then edge jump from this slope and grab the balloon in the middle of this group of 3. While spamming X, keep moving to the right, then let go as it swings and before it takes you on top of the wooden beams to get a little bit of speed. If you're lucky, you can land on the right side of this skull and launch yourself to get even more speed, but it's pretty difficult to line up. If when you grab the balloon you didn't collect the third balloon's bubble, you'll get stuck, so just let go of the balloon and walk down as normal, while still trying to get a fling off the skull. There's a pretty big gap here, but with a well-timed jump you can cross it fairly easily, then jump up off the first skull as intended. This skull is meant to bounce you up to the first elevator, but if you manage to time a jump off of it correctly, you can make it all the way up to the last one and skip most of the weight. Climb up normally if you missed it though. On these skeletons you can run across the first 3 without having to worry about jumping, but make sure that you short hop on the third one so you don't fall into the gap. Then jump across the rest. Approaching these springy platforms, you can edge jump just before the first one to land straight on the second, then time a jump to make it up to the higher platform. From here there are 2 things you can do. The first option is to run off the platform to the right and time a jump off the second last skull, which is faster but slightly riskier. Depending on how lucky you get with the bounce, you might need to go for a second one, or possibly even use the next skull across. The second option is to continue jumping up the springy platforms until you reach the top, which is slightly slower but much safer. Once you cross the bridge, you can jump off the first skull to bounce all the way up to the top, without having to use the second one. Now do a short and early dialogue jump past Frida. If you go too high you'll end up switching into the layer she's in, losing your speed. As always, you can now quit to the pod early and hit the scoreboard. So that's about it for this level. See you next time in the darkness.